Okay, we call our meeting to order. Agenda review and disposition, anything to add to tonight's agenda?
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Minutes of May 7th, 2018. I'll entertain a motion to accept as stated.
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Who moved? Oh. Did you move?
Yeah.
Frank.
Because I saw both.
A little too fast for you?
Well, they both, yeah.
Just leave it alone.
Privilege of the floor, number one. Anybody care to speak? Yes, no, maybe? Oh, we have one who wants to speak.
I'm just going to talk about what we did with our community outreach for the student council. I'm Kane Senmore, by the way. One of the focuses this year for student council was community outreach. Here are a few things we did. We created a letter for the new students. We sold sunflowers sold by last year's 8th grade service class to raise money for the American Red Cross. We focused on literacy by having a book drive where books were collected and then set out for families to take at the Welcome Back BBQ. We also hosted our annual snowball dance and raised money for books for the free little library created by Felina Corum. We hosted our first annual outdoor movie night. We hosted other movie nights as well. We volunteered at the annual Jingle Bell Run. We hosted our first holiday flea market. We collected a ton of items, and students in grades K through 5 purchased 2 items each for 50 cents a piece. We helped them wrap, and put them in their gift. Put tags on their gifts. We brainstormed many ideas and look forward to continuing the community outreach next year. If you have any ideas, send them my way.
So Kaden is part of the principal's report as well, and I just wanted to also congratulate Kaden. He's going to be the president of the student council next year, so he's already showing his leadership. And Mrs. Stock was going to follow up with some.
Oh, I can follow now, sure. So we have some highlights, and I have been part of the PACE team this year, so I've really embraced mapping. So I've mapped out the year, if anyone would like to see our student council map. Some of the highlights for us, we have an annual community service event, and we were recognized by Annie Custer. She or her staff must have seen it in the local paper, and we were recognized by them for our community efforts. And Kaden mentioned the snowball dance, which we started last year, but this year we made a donation of books for the little library that's out in the playground, and it's really nice because it's a project that was started by the kids. And then Kaden and a group of other students started a game day this year, and we play games, and it's really nice. We play cribbage and we play Yahtzee, and we play games with rules and people interacting, and it's lovely. And we had kids come and do camp games that they learned at summer camp. We tried this 4 or 5 times throughout the year. We do it during study hall on a Friday, and it's really nice to sit down and play a game with your friends. And we did many other things. I want to follow up with how lucky I feel that Kaden is continuing with us as an officer. He is a 7th grader this year. He'll be the president next year, so 2 years, and Kaden really represents what it means to be a caring student on our student council, so I'm really happy that he will be doing this again this year. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Julie?
Okay. Again, I want to congratulate Kaden, and he's been a leader on many things in our school, and I'll actually mention a few right now. But I want to talk about an amazing collaborative event that we had right here in our Learning Commons. It was a collaboration with our kindergartners and the high school art department with the main art teacher, Lynn Sanborn. She does a project each year that's intergenerational, and this year she really wanted her students to work with our little people. So it started back in February, and the students met each other, interviewed each other, learned about each other, and then the high school students went back to their art room and started to draft up ideas. They came back over here with their cameras, took portraits, photographs, and went back to the drawing board and created these beautiful portraits, very interesting, with bits and pieces woven into each portrait about the student. So they were on display here, big portrait size, just like a museum. And then the kindergartners also did a portrait of their counterpart at the high school. And we had the parents in, and it was a lovely event. And I would like to commend our 2 kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Morse and Mrs. King. They did a great job. Mrs. Sanborn was the visionary, and she was amazing. And what happened in the process was wonderful. We had a chance to talk with the high school students, and they really talked about how challenging it was to bring out the personality of the students. So it was a great event for us, and we hope it keeps going over the years, but I know she's probably looking to broaden it. On Thursday, May 24th, a beautiful day with a gentle breeze to keep the bugs away, we held our traditional Memorial Day Pledge of Allegiance out at the flag on the front lawn. Mr. Stevens helped to coordinate the event with our student leadership, this year's president, Anna Apriliano and Lauren Casarino. They led the pledge, shared some history about Memorial Day, and Ms. Como, a staff member here, actually led the school in the national anthem. Lauren Casarino, and this is the second year in a row, and I'm always amazed at the poise that she does, standing in front of the student body, and flawlessly did taps for us. So again, it was a great moment for us. And I'm sure as you drive down, you see the flags in different areas. Each class has individual flags, and then students plant their patriotism. And so I think it's a beautiful tradition here at Plymouth Elementary School. We also use the opportunity to remind students we have a ton of activities and field trips coming up. So we had a chance to share about the 4 B's, the be safe, be responsible, be respectful, be your best you. So, and they were good. They were on it. So. Plymouth Elementary School's annual spring concert was a beautiful reflection of excellent instruction, student practice, and high expectations for performance. It's always interesting to observe the growth, even at the concert, between the 4th graders all the way to the 8th graders. Just great improvement. The big hit was the showcase of the 4th grade ukuleles. It was a real crowd pleaser, and they played some of my personal favorite songs. This Land Is Your Land, You Are My Sunshine. It was great, and they did a great job with it, and very engaged. Always super impressive was the jazz band. They're amazing, and then you have to step back and say, oh my gosh, these are 11, 12, and 13-year-olds. It's really amazing. They do a great job. Thank you to Mr. Stevens for establishing a performance atmosphere of high expectations and for a joy of music. Also, thank you. There were a lot of our teachers present. Teams 5 and 4 were there to help with managing students as well. So a great night for Plymouth Elementary School. And I just wanted to pause and let you know a little bit about our wellness committee. It's been really successful this year. Every year, it's an important part of our community. Similar to the safety committee, I feel that it's really important. We meet once a month to review nutrition, exercise, and overall wellness practices in our school. This year, we reviewed the lice policy. We met extensively with cafe services about improving snack options. We partnered with the PSU Physical Therapy Doctoral Program in starting a middle school walking program, which, by the way, Caden was a major part of. And Thanks to the Wellness Committee, sugary snacks have been replaced with things like hummus and crackers, carrots and grapes, items that are a big hit with our kids. Middle schoolers have collectively walked beyond Boston, I think out to the Cape. I think it was about 150 miles so far. And the big work has been in communicating with staff and students and families about health and wellness. We have posters, and I think I may have mentioned them earlier this year, this 5-2-1-0, 5 fruits and vegetables, 2 or less hours of screen time, 1 hour at least of physical activity every day, and 0 restricting soda, sugar-sweetened sports drinks. Instead, drink water. Thank you to the Wellness Committee, parents and community members, Meredith Flynn, Kelly Legacy, Kristen Valenti, Edie Kendall, teachers Ellen Hand, Deb McManus, our school nurse Kelly Zugopoulos, and students Karina Flynn and Abigail Parks. And I have to say, and you probably agree, the students really kind of cued in on some important things and were really helpful on the committee as well. And lastly, I just would love to congratulate the Plymouth PTA. I see Ann out there. They were recognized at the Katie Summit on Friday, May 25th. They invested in Lions Quest, which is a drug prevention program for students in 5th and 6th grade. It's a 7-week program, and there's a fee with that, and the PTA picked up the cost for that. Lions Quest includes updated information on drugs, all different, it's a different world out there, and they are direct about it. And it's also a great problem-solving program. The PTA will continue to invest in Lions Quest this year, and I wanted to just say thank you and congratulations. And as always, the summit was an outstanding event, and many of our PES students were presenters as well as recipients of recognition. There is a new program there called JAC. It's a Junior Youth Advisory and Advocacy Council, started by our own Luke Legacy, started here in the school. It's for younger students, and again, it's just all about positive engagement. We had Luke and Cooper Legacy, Caroline Frost, Blaine Hiltz, and I think that was it, from our school presenting, and also a lot of our former PES students. Just a reminder that on Wednesday we have our academic fair for students in kindergarten through grade 4. There's a big spaghetti supper right beforehand. That's awesome, and it's a final fundraiser for our Montreal trip. And on June 12th, we have the academic fair and STEM showcase for grades 5 through 8. And I think I sent something out, and thank you for your responses for being part of that. So that's all I have for you.
Thank you.
What's that? So I just have some brief information on our spring sports that they have all officially ended their seasons. Baseball team was a young group but showed a lot of growth and improvement as they went along the way. They played some really tough games. They played some close games that were, one-run games. Had a few come from behind wins and a few where they charged right out of the gate. So I know Coach Abbott was pleased with the growth that he saw. And being a young team, we really look forward to these kids moving forward and continuing to swing the bats and have some fun. The softball team was somewhat the opposite, led more by the older girls, had a lot of offensive strength going this year. Their bats were very much alive. They only had their first and only loss on May 11th against a tough Haverhill team. And also their defense proved pretty worthy as well. Avi Joslin was their 8th grade pitcher. She did a great job all season. And the older girls will be missed, but there's a lot of younger players that showed a lot of great promise as well. So that should be a team that should continue to do well. Exciting piece with track and field. They had a really solid season, a lot of personal bests, the coaches tell me. They had 16 athletes qualify for the state meet at Winnisquam. That was on Monday, May 21st. Of some of those athletes, the PES students, we had one 5th grader qualify. That was Nathaniel Gervais. Sixth graders were Ainsley Gerard, Owen Cahoon, Kaylee Merrifield, Leah Basson, Sydney Valente, and Annie Flynn. And our seventh grade qualifiers were Cole Ahern and Olivia Gauthier. And eighth grade rounded out with Adriana Johnson, Luke Basson, Karina Flynn, Lydia Marinowski, and Susanna Vaughn. And then at that state meet, congratulations goes out to Cole Ahern, seventh grader. He placed first in the 100-meter hurdles and second in the discus with a throw of 103 feet 6 inches. Kaylee Merrifield in grade 6 placed second in the high jump with a jump of 4 feet. And our fifth grade standout, Nathaniel Gervais, was third in the 1600 meter in the mile with a time of 5:29. So great job that's absolutely. So they did great. And again, kudos, track and field, having done that in my previous life, can be a really difficult sport to manage with so many students and so many events going on. And the coaches did a real, I think, decent job this year with really fine-tuning their practices to try to give students a little bit more event discipline this year, and that seemed to work out well. So many thanks to all of our coaches who did a great job, the parents who supported the athletes and the coaches along the way, and special thanks goes out to our Parks and Recreation crew for their continued support in prepping our fields and getting them ready, and also to Plymouth Regional High School for continually sharing spaces and making sure that we don't bump into each other along the way. So that's it for our spring sports.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Julie? Thank you very much. Consent items, claims and payroll, all signed manifest. Any correspondence?
None, Mr. Chair.
Moving right along. Discussion items. Next meeting, the call of the chair.
Yes, typically in July, the board doesn't meet unless there's an emergency, and so that would be at the call of the chair. And then in August, we'll check with you for vacation schedules to make sure we can have a meeting. We'll need one meeting sometime in August, and then we'll go back to a schedule. The question for the board, I don't know if I asked this when we reorganized, but Monday night was a good night for the passports, and so the first Monday of the month, if that's still okay, that's great. If it's bad for somebody, now's the time to sort of say, no, this is a good time, here isn't a good time. Yeah. Everybody all set?
Yeah.
We'll stay with Monday, first Monday of the month.
Okay. Greenhouse project grant approval.
Yes, I'm pleased to tell you that Ethel Gades, who chases every grant on the planet, we were talking about the greenhouse and a little bit of the frustration of where we're at and the Plymouth tax rate. So she said, well, let me go see what's out there. So Ethel went out and got I forget the title of the grant, but it was some title she got through the Department of Ed, and we were funded for approximately a little over $27,620, and kudos to Ethel for that. That needs to be spent by June 30th of 2019. So said to Julie and to Sarah, we really, realistically, with the Plymouth tax rate, we're where we're at. So we have the money that was raised in-house. We have this grant. We have 2 local contractors who are willing to donate labor for site work. So I think now is the time to strike. So if it's all right with the board, I'd like to charge Sarah and Julie and John Francis with coming up with a scope of work. Let's get this thing, do the site work, and do what you want on the site. And if more comes in later on, then you can add to the greenhouse. But let's get it going, because this 27, I think, gets us to a position where it's a viable project. Is that okay?
That sounds wonderful.
Is that okay with the chairman?
Okay.
Yeah, board? Okay, go get him.
Okay, support staff nominations.
Yes, after a non-public session, we'll be nominating the staff, that's secretaries, aides, and custodians within that group for next year.
fiscal year 18 financial update.
I have the revenue update for you as of June 1st, and that is very good. We're hitting our targets, and we're in good shape. I'll wait for you to get the...
So on the news, we're getting a little extra money from the state.
We did. It was, it's going to be about $5,500, $6,500, which certainly helps. As you can see, our unreserved fund balance and catastrophic aid is in, adequacy is in. National Forest Reserve showed up, and they always do this to us. They always give us a higher number when the tax rate is set and then send us less money. But Medicaid, we're not done with yet. That can be a late arrival. We hold the books open until mid-August, and because that's this fiscal year's money still coming in from the state. And then all of the other categories, for the most part, we hit our targets, other than regular tuition, but and that's just, we were off about $10,000. And everything else, we're at 101% in those areas. And then federal fund revenue, we came in 165%, so we did a lot better on Title I and Title II reimbursement. We budget conservatively on those revenues so that we don't run into a situation where we're not getting money we expect. So that's typical of us. And then the food service down underneath, that's just money going through the food service system. So our revenue and credits is 102%, and so we're in good shape. Dan is still cleaning up lots of, with Mary Ann, lots of encumbrances and things like that. So we'll have a better feel for it sometime in mid-July on the appropriation side. But it's going to be very close. There's not going to be $48,000 of unreserved fund balance. It's going to, and we always budget zero in so we're not trying to hit a target on unreserved, but our spending is very close. And the next budget item sort of goes along with this, Mr. Chairman, FY19. We're really sticking right at the line items. You remember, $500,000 has been cut from the Plymouth Elementary budget, and so we're sticking right at those line items. So if we're going to go over in a line item, we need a credit in another line item in order to let that line go over. So Julie's done a great job as we early on, just looking at all kinds of things, field trips, everything. So hard decisions have to be made, but that's where the tax rate is, and the staff is all here. The class sizes are great, so we've got to really tighten up in a lot of other areas. All right.
Okay. Any other business for discussion? I see none. Privilege of the floor.
I just want to say that I continually am so proud to live where we live, and that I chose to raise my children at Plymouth Elementary, and that I am teaching at such a wonderful place, and that we have the support of the administration office on this greenhouse project, and the support of the school board and my administration in the school to make this happen. And I'm ecstatic that that is on the docket for this summer. So I just wanted to say thank you. I also wanted to say thank you to Amy Bailey, who works with 5th grade every year and comes in to work with a group of students for some enrichment purposes. And she has also volunteered to help in any way she can with Greenhouse, writing curriculum and being involved in that way. So I'm very thankful to live where we live. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Mr. Mayor.
I was, to see the track team, the way the coaches and the staff work, it's really kind of neat. John is so laid back. He's perfect for that job, and he does a superior job. And to have the extra coaches with Nancy and Kevin helping him, it was a really good mix, and really enjoyed the season. So I want to thank them.
Thank you.
Thanks for volunteering, too. Thanks, we appreciate that.
Any more? Well, thank you very much. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.